ladies and gentlemen, to another riveting episode of Cognac Corner. And I'm your host, Marcus Boston. Today I have on my other barber, Marlo. Introduce yourself.
Yo. Now, what's up, bro? I'm Marlo McGee, y'all. Sitting in with my man, Marcus.
Yes. We had Trey on.
Oh, yeah?
We had Trey. I think Trey was episode 6, maybe?
You know what? I think I listened to it.
Yeah.
I listened to some of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Had Trey his first time in Soulard the correct way, because the first time you guys came down and had a little turmoil at us.
Oh my God! You talking about no jeans, no camouflage, no hats, no. Hey, my man was looking at us and undressing us at the same. Hey man, hey look, no camos, no shorts, no short sleeve shirts, no hats on your head, man. Basically, y'all can't come in.
You niggas are not allowed. That's ultimately
that's what it was for real.
And it was funny. I had been coming out a couple weeks in a row to where I don't understand. I know why now in retrospect, but I was like, this is today they've worn about the same style of dress the last 4 weeks.
Yeah,
you choose this Sunday to all of a sudden have an imaginary dress code. Like, where's the paperwork at?
I mean, look, it was an outdoor bar with a sand beach volleyball net. Dogs, man. It was dogs in there, man.
Yes.
And they look at us talking about what we wearing, man. That was like the most hilarious thing. And the funny thing about it, it was another black guy standing there telling me this info. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was hilarious. Ben
Carson was, doing what the owner said, which is, I've definitely I spoke with him and we've had that rectified. So
yeah, I ain't been back since.
I know.
I thought that was I don't beg nobody to spend my money.
I agree.
You don't want me in your establishment. Just ask me to leave it. I shall do it.
I agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah.
But we got that rectified. We moved on. We've grown. And all those 5 things. So who is Marlo? So let's start with Marlo at the beginning. So where you from?
Man, I grew up in St. Louis in a small community called Wellston. What can I say about Wellston? Like 10 blocks of chaos. Hey, but it's where I'm from.
Yeah. Like growing up, you had both parents, one parent?
Well, my father passed away when I was like 18,
mm-hmm.
but I did know my dad, you know what I'm saying? So I pretty much grew up at my mom's house, grandparents' house.
So growing up, what was the examples of relationships for you? Like what was you raised around, like atmosphere and environment?
I mean, my mom, she got married, so she had her thing going. So I was always around some
strong women.
Men and well, being very young, I grew up in a house full of women.
Yeah,
I had a couple uncles, but one uncle was in the service. Then one was, he was doing his thing.
Yeah,
and I learned a lot from them women.
Yeah.
If nothing else, is how to deal with them. I learned a lot from them, man. At least how to deal with them.
And when you say deal with them, you see like having patience, how to properly communicate, how to approach. Like, I always try to give at least, like the process of elimination. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone doesn't have the luxury or the advantage or opportunity to be raised under a tutelage where you learn respectfully how to approach women, court women, and even break up in a correct way that doesn't have to be messy and full of drama. So do you think through observation or direct, instructions, did you learn that from those women?
Well, I almost feel like the way you move is kind of like who you are. Like, if you like drama, it's going to be drama.
Yeah.
If you don't like drama, like sometimes you got to know when to lose.
Yes.
Sometimes losing ain't always losing.
Right. Yeah.
Like you got to know when you're in the victory circle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like coming home real late at night, and then you go ask your partner, your spouse, your wife, your girl, whatever she may be to you at that time. That baby, go make me something to eat, and she get up and she fuss and complain the whole time, yet she in there cooking your food. Does it do you any good to sit there and argue with her when actually you already won? You can just be quiet, let her fuss, and let her keep cooking. Like, it's just understanding when you winning.
Yeah.
Like, if people would understand when they winning and can eat a loss, our life get easy, man.
I agree.
I mean, it does. Like, it's not that. Come on.
Sometimes we make it harder than it has to be.
Well, we make it harder than it has to be in a world where everything already provided.
True. It's a great time to be alive.
I mean, everything in the world was already provided.
Mm-hmm.
It was here before we got here. It's going to be here when we dead and gone.
True. The world keeps spinning.
Yeah, don't nobody take nothing with him.
Nope.
Just stay. When a man die, he leave everything. Look, you ain't got to ask, what he leave us? Everything. He left you everything. Because he didn't take nothing with him. Yeah, man. Yeah, so, you know.
True. That's a good point. Take everything with you. Yeah. See, I almost did a young guy move. Like, why are you fussing? Now, me being lack of experience of knowing that thought process, I'm like, so I asked you to do something, you fuss. I don't want you to do it no more.
Then who win it? You have lost out.
I lost.
Yeah, you just lost.
I lost. Now I'm gonna make my own sandwich because I'm mad that she fussing instead of let her fuss and get what I wanted.
Yeah.
I just pimped backwards. That's the gem. That is the first gem of the day.
Yeah, you can't do that, man.
That's the first gem of the day. I don't want to now, and I mistook that as she must don't want to do it. Then you know what? Don't never mind.
But she's doing it.
Yeah. Huh?
Like, if she didn't want to do it, she wouldn't have gotten up.
Right.
I mean, ultimately.
True.
And she just wanted to fuss and make you aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Damn.
Shh.
I'm gonna be quiet.
Like, hey, man, sometimes you got to get out of there.
That is a jewel, number one. Just you getting what you want. What's wrong? What's the problem?
You know what, man? Often in life, I find we are our own worst enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, most of the time, people fussing at you and taking it. It's probably not even you.
Right.
It's probably they dealing with something with themselves, but they need somebody to be a punching bag.
Yeah.
So they throw their jabs at you.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like they make themselves feel better by belittling someone else.
Right.
And people do that all the time.
Way too often.
Because we deal with a lot of our own insecurities.
Yes.
In this show.
Mm-hmm. That is very true. So, Marlo, as a young man, I mean, we know you're newlywed. Congratulations.
Oh yeah, beautiful thing.
That is that's a very thing to be proud of.
Took a long time.
We gonna start at the beginning and get there.
Okay.
We're gonna work our way up. So, what was your approach on philosophy as a young man, in regards to like dating, relationships, getting your experience? How was your approach, and what lessons did you learn?
I think, man, as much so as I've always been kind of a ladies' man, you know. I mean, just in all honesty.
Yeah.
Like, that's never been an area I've struggled in. I almost feel like any man that struggled with getting a woman is because he ain't trying or something. I mean, because they made for us and we made for them.
Yeah.
So, it was, I would say it was probably more so of just controlling myself. I mean, because, I'm one of them people who believe every time I walk out the door, it's somebody going my direction.
Yeah.
Like, it is a woman going I don't care which direction I face. It is a woman going my direction. All I got to do is grab her hand, pull her in. Then in the trial of learning one another, sometimes we don't always make it.
Right.
But for that stint in walking life, that's where she was, right there.
So it's like one of those, I'm not mad that it's over, I'm happy that it happened.
Oh, no, I don't think no period of life like it's a waste of time. Even if it took you a long time to realize that it wasn't good or it wasn't whatever you thought it was, or, it's like that was necessary.
Yeah. It's
necessary for your growth. Some of us, bloom early, some bloom late, some never blossom at all.
Yeah, damn.
So,
hit him one more time with that below.
What I say?
Some bloom late, some bloom early, some don't bloom at all.
Some never blossom at all, man. And that's the truth. So, like, better be a late bloomer than never blossom at all.
Yeah. A lot of waste potential and opportunity when you, like you say, you get in your own way or you get lost in somebody else's opinion of you or someone's validation of you. You miss out on what you could be because you're trying to be somebody you're not. And it's unfortunate. I always get sad when I hear people, men or women, that sort of, like, go say it was with someone for a long period of time and then finally get out of it, then bash that whole time together. Like, a lot of things happened, good or bad, that couldn't have happened if y'all wasn't together. Unfortunately, it was a toxic situation that lasts a long time. But there's gems in there. There's experiences and moments that are going to make you better for the next person. I
mean, those are experiences that are great for growing. Like, it's like, what I'm saying? You learn what love is and you learn what love is not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not about getting your way because relationships are compromise. And there is no reward without sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
And, vice versa.
Yeah, monogamy relationships is a choice. So you have to choose to make it work and choose to, hopefully grow in the same direction. But I think a lot of times you can avoid some hardship if you realize the better you know yourself, the better you know what you will and will not deal with, and who best fits you for the most part. Clearly, you don't know everything, but the better you know yourself, the easier the rest of I think it is.
Well, yeah, because I find that the most difficult relationship you could ever possibly be in is one where you cannot be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's that thing that's where it creates a great relationship when that person can accept you for who you are and you can accept them for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, of course, you're gonna have some situations here and there, but everything ain't a deal breaker.
Yeah.
And then it's like, like, who can, like, were you being immature in the situation? Like, you got to look at yourself,
right?
And always self-evaluate,
self-audit yourself on what did I do to make this moment turn as good or bad?
Well, it's not about looking for someone to blame. I think it's just more so about accountability. Because I think that messed some people up too when they blame themselves for things.
Mm-hmm.
That's how a lot of women get caught in abusive relationships because they blame themselves for his erratic behavior.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, it's not good to look for the blame, but maybe look for the solution.
Yeah, that's a very positive way to look at it.
You know what I'm saying? You can't look to point the finger. You need to look for the solution.
Yeah.
To what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a fact of what's at hand,
mm-hmm.
and then it's like, okay, how do we fix this?
Right.
And try to keep your pride out the way. That's the killer.
Pride and
your
ego.
Pride.
Yeah.
Your pride pride to bring a man low.
You sound like you got a personal story you want to share with us?
Not really, just pride to bring a man low. I've seen it. I've seen it, man. Look, I'm of the mindset you don't have to experience everything in life to learn from it.
Right.
Like, in fact, life's too short for you to experience everything.
True.
So learn from the people around you. Pay attention. It's like learning how to drive from the passenger seat. It's like you watch them push the gas, you watch them push the brake. Like, most people kind of learn how to drive from the passenger seat.
Right.
It's just a matter of getting the mechanics down.
Yeah. The intuition, the mechanics, the secondary. Motion
like,
and shit.
People, okay, I'm newly married. People tell me all the time, "Oh, just wait till you 10 years in, and things gonna change, or you 5 years in, things gonna change." I say, man, y'all sound like y'all. I said, y'all. I'm kind of glad I'm in year one because y'all sound miserable.
Right, that's horrible, bro. Look, I had a conversation the other day. Like, my mom been married for 12 years, been together for maybe 15, something like that. But, like, I've never seen them argue. I've never seen them, like, exhibit any kind of negative, traditional relationship behavior. You know what I'm saying? At home, away, they've always just been happy with each other. They just, they with each other. And, like, that's how I think of everything. Like, I'm not going to be with anybody that doesn't bring level of peace and just tranquility to make me a better person. I'm good without you, but you can make me better, that's great. But I'm still going to be myself. And so, like, when people, like, think that arguing in a very toxic way is healthy or that's what we do. Relationship. That's not a relationship. That's not how this works. So
I mean, cause somebody not being allowed to be themselves, cause somebody keep nitpicking at every little thing they do. And you know, who wants to be in a relationship where you're on eggshells and you like, did I do something wrong?
I gotta be on eggshells at home and away. Like,
did I do something wrong?
That's nuts.
You know, you left looking, man.
Doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I can do bad by myself. I don't need no help. Be having a bad day. Life leave me enough shit on his own that I have to deal with. I refuse to deal with some shit.
Hey, and then before you know it, you be the man in the relationship. You went from being the king of your castle to a peasant in the man cave.
Man, shit.
Down in the corner of the basement.
I'm on the couch, you
and
man.
And then they say, it's a man cave. Look, you been demoted from the king of your castle down to a peasant in a man cave. And everybody think the man cave fly. Now the whole castle mine.
Right.
Like, it's funny, man.
Yeah. My boy Matt came on episode, I think like 5 or 4. And he was saying like him and his girlfriend, they were young and going through. It's like, I'm not going to throw away this house because one light bulb don't work. You know what I'm saying? We have so many good things in the relationship that's worth holding on to. Then maybe this part right here is not working. Maybe the lights out, we need to redo the stairs, whatever. But I'm not going to throw away the house because of one bad room to be remodeled. I said that's a good point. I think some people are too quick to throw away something great because that they sort of forget or it gets blurry.
Well, it's two people in a relationship,
right?
And you have to have two willing participants.
True.
You know, it's like the old positive negative thing. A positive and negative is always a negative.
Mm-hmm.
Two positives is a positive.
Yeah.
Two negatives is a positive. So both of y'all negative, it's positive that y'all gonna stay in some bullshit. Like that's the grand scheme of like all day long. Like it's like, come on, man.
That is great. That is great. Two negatives are positive that gonna stay in some bullshit.
I mean, it's the old mathematics.
Yeah, it's not that complicated. Math, the math is definitely there. Damn, that's good shit, Marlo. That's a good point. That's a good point. And he spoke about, you know, he became accountable for his part in how things turned out and, you know, the complications of it, and just took some self audit and realized that, like, let me own mine. And maybe some of the things I didn't own at the time was leading to you to behave in the way you did. So now that I'm rectifying within myself, I can explain to you and own it. Then maybe you can see what I brought out of you in a negative way because I had negative inside me that I wasn't aware of that made this relationship turn. Or made this good, healthy house turn into need to do some work. Some neglect was in that house.
Well, and a lot of times you drag in some old stuff.
Oh, boy.
That you've been dealing with since you was a child.
Yeah.
Or since you was a young man or a young woman.
Right.
That you dealing with, and you drag it into this relationship and then they left to deal with it, but you hold on to it in such a way that you don't even share it. And it's just like negativeness. And it's like, what's going on? But they don't share the real issue. Mm-hmm. Why they feel the way they feel. Because it could have been something totally before you. And then if it was actually something that you done, you have to recognize that wounds heal over time, and you can't always dictate how long that time is.
Yes.
You know, as the perpetrator, you don't get to decide how long the victim hold on to their pain.
Yes. Speaking of, I was listening to another a radio show, and when the host was talking, like, you know, when a man cheats on his woman, and you know, they get through it and work on it, he doesn't want to bring it back up, but you don't know what's going to trigger her to remember what you did to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're over it as the man because you was never under it. You committed the crime, but you can't dictate the victim's healing and the way they might be reminded of some shit you did when they choose to be with you. Now, I think they shouldn't. If you say we want to get past this, don't keep beating me on the head with it when I've owned my mistake. But then I also can't tell you how long the recovery process can be, so I have to deal with, you know, however that may be. But like, I haven't been in situations. So I don't know. Maybe I'm off base. Maybe I'm being too optimistic or pessimistic. But I'm like, somewhere there has to be. If I cheat, I own it. It depends on the level of how egregious the cheating was. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what you gonna deal with? Maybe you can deal with me having a kid by another woman. Why, you know, maybe that's something you can deal with. I don't know, but I'm saying there's levels to all crimes. So you have first degree murder, yada yada yada, manslaughter, because there's always a level of punishment, or at least level of severity of the crime. But if you choose to take me back, at one point do you stop just beating me over the head about it?
Man, somewhere the honesty get lost. Even if, like, I in all honesty, like, I've been in relationships that I wasn't 100% in, but ultimately I was lying to myself. I was lying to her. It was all one big lie.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't come to the grips with just keeping it real with myself and saying, you know what, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And so what if it hurt?
Yeah.
Because this is who I am.
Right.
And that's a freedom that you get when you finally get to a place where, you know what, like, I need to be myself.
Yeah.
And it's not that I it's okay for you to just run around and cheat, but at least if that's who you are, keep it real with her. Or like, why are you doing what you're doing?
Yeah.
Like, cause I mean, men, man, we have sex for different reasons than women. In truth.
Yeah.
Like, it's just almost like, hey, it was there, I did it. It was something to do. I mean, it's sad. It's sad, but
the song came on, the light hit right. I had one too many deuces.
Yeah.
I was just shooting the shit.
But there's really no emotional attachment to it.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
And that's what I've said this a few times. Like, men cheat or date for ego, as for women cheat for emotional reasons.
What? I like that. That's a jewel for you. I like that. But it's one of them things, man, where I don't know if you do it just because it's an ego thing. Sometimes it's like, what men have often had a thing of this good girl thing, of what they consider to be a good girl.
Yeah.
Or a good woman, or what society has said that this is, and then ultimately they go out and cheat with the girl that they really like. Like, that's what I mean by about being real with yourself. Like, if you like a girl that's a little hot, and a little this and a little that, then you do that.
Yeah.
Don't expect, because the woman at home is going to be boring to you. If she's sometimes you find out that her good girl image is real. And she's quite boring to you because you have already sown some of your wild oats and you had a taste of other things. And then now you have something to compare to. That's why, it's funny, man. None of us really hardly ever make it. Some of us do. But I understand why the Bible say, wait until you married to have sex. And if people didn't talk about their sex life, you wouldn't even know your sex life was boring.
True.
Like, it would be one of them things, you never had it, so you don't know what you're missing.
Right.
So sometimes when you get a taste of some things out here, and it's kind of like, I like her, but she just bored. Like, and sometimes all the other things fit.
Yep. Yeah.
But it's always, or you think she nagged too much, or whatever. You almost don't need to give a man an excuse to have a good time. It's almost like, especially when you just can't be yourself. Like me, myself, man. I've been so blessed with my wife to the point that I can be myself around. Like, I can just talk dirty to her, say whatever I want to say. Yeah. And she don't take it wrong. Yes. It's always up to the receiver to decide. As the receiver, it's always up to the receiver to decide if the giver is coming from a place of love or a place of hate.
Correct.
It's like, how do they perceive you and with what you're saying? So, it's like, we just have a connection, man, that's healthy. Yeah. For us. And you know what? I've been with her for 3 years now. We've been married for a few months. And they say it's still the honeymoon stage, but hey, I think we can make our whole lifetime a honeymoon stage.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's all between the ears, bruh. Like, it's like, because you're a barber, so you work for yourself, and there's a different, the shades, the colors of the prism shine differently when you are in control of your success and your failures. Like, I'm transitioning to a position where, the podcast, like, all this shit I'm responsible for, and the success and the growth is predicted on the work I put in when there's nobody around. And it's a different energy and vibe than when you hang with people that just used to being a replaceable part of the machine. And then they're very more interested in escapism, than saying something or then into learning something. You know what I'm saying? Like, the more I do the editing and film and reporting, I'm more interested in learning from people that are successful, whatever their passion is, and they share it, and you hear that energy and that enthusiasm and the willingness to be themselves, and then you sort of find a way to, how can I embrace this information? Yes, I might not be in marketing per se, but how can I use his gems to make my stuff better? Or how can I, I'm more interested in things to be productive than escapism, because I'm working on something. So when you meet women and they're just, I go to work, then what do you do? Like, I hate when people are like, what do you do? My occupation doesn't define me. That's just
what you do.
Yeah, that's not who I am at all.
Right.
I'm gonna be bigger than any occupation I'll have, because that doesn't define me. Because I'm a living thing. It's like, it always baffles me. Like, I'm a blah blah blah. So what does that mean?
Well, we live in a title-driven society.
Yeah.
So that impresses people.
Right.
Like if somebody say, it's like, my wife is a dental hygienist. Mm-hmm. So we have a conversation with someone and they say, oh, what do you do for a living? And she say, oh, I'm a hygienist. And then I say, oh, I'm a barber. Like, it's automatically assumed that her job, or she's at a more prestigious, in the sake of degrees or the title of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, people, often equate titles with income.
Yes.
And sometimes, like, you look at somebody who might work at McDonald's and be like, oh, you 47, you work at McDonald's. They could be the manager of McDonald's. They could be making over $75,000 a year, but since you look at that job as less than desirable because it doesn't come with the title that everybody's looking for,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
yeah. I mean, it's sad and it's amazing how, especially in St. Louis, it's like in St. Louis, they always ask you, when I go out different places, you meet new people, like, what high school did you go to? What does that mean? Like,
well, it's just a part of conversating to get to know you.
But it only happens here. Like, you go to Colorado, whatever, you meet people and you say, hey, what's going on? I'm yada, yada, yada. You sort of just have a converse that way. But like St. Louis, when it's new, because, we're naturally...
Well, St. Louis is click time.
Oh, click city.
It's a click time.
Yeah.
Like, everybody want to know what you're doing, because this is truly the show me state. If you ain't got nothing to say, I've been doing something, you ain't been doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it come down to.
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't doing nothing. You wasting my time. Let me get on. Let me keep it pushing.
Or if you're doing something they either don't know how to do, haven't done, don't get it, they want to say, oh, that's stupid. Just because you don't get it, like, like I'm saying, like, I guess you just show me state. So, like, you better off just doing what you enjoy and let the rest speak for itself. And then they want to get on the back end, want to ride the coattails. When you could be in on the early version, but you get to know who your friends are. You get to see.
It's difficult to sell anybody a dream that God gave you.
Correct. You're right.
When God give you a dream or a vision, He gave it to you, and it's hard for somebody else to understand.
Yeah.
And then you can be talked out of your dream or your vision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
By a naysayer.
Yeah. Yeah. And they can be in your home, they can be outside, but you have to have, and they probably more often in the home meet you,
Yeah. Sometimes parents do that to kids. Sometimes husbands do it to wives, wives to husbands.
Yep. Yeah. 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 And then your biggest...
But it probably was done to them.
Correct. Because they probably ain't living their dream. They probably not doing what they were here to do based on lack of support and encouragement. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're not gonna want to help, don't hate. Just don't say shit. Just say, hey, that's cool, and keep it pushing. But take the energy to be negative towards somebody else's passion or goal. That just shows me that you didn't have the balls or courage to chase yours for whatever reason. You needed someone else around you to do some shit. Like, I don't have time to wait. Like, I'll do it. I can go on my own, and I'll figure it out.
Everybody don't have leadership qualities.
It's true. That's very true.
Everybody don't have that. And sometimes you're looking for somebody to take a lead on something that they're just not capable of doing.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
true. Everyone's not made to go over the hill first.
Oh no, like, everybody want to ride down here, but don't nobody want to push up. That's the you know what I'm saying. Don't nobody want to push up here, but everybody want to enjoy ride down. So it's just one of them things, man. People, or they just can't see it.
Yeah.
They can't see that vision. Like, and the funny thing about a vision, man, when you get a vision, you see the finished product before you ever even know your beginning. Like when you get a vision, when God give you a vision or something, man, you see the finish. And you probably don't have a clue of how you're going to get there.
Yeah, that's true. Like, sometimes I felt that a lot of things didn't go a certain way or didn't be as fruitful as I wanted because I didn't believe in my prayers. Sometimes you have to believe. You can pray or say you pray, but if you don't believe in those prayers, and also I always like to say, God doesn't scream, He whispers, and you got to be grateful in the small things to say, oh, yes, I'm fortunate to be able to give someone some extra change I had in my car. If someone is in a position or strong enough to ask a stranger for money, how dare I not be strong enough to give you this change? And I have in this car because I know I've spent worse. I've spent more on worse. And it's not up to me to think about where this money's going to go once I give it to you. But just be grateful enough that I'm in position to do so. And keep it moving.
You talking about that paper they print every day? like really? You know what I'm saying? It's givers and takers in the world, man. You know what I'm saying? And I understand why the Bible says it's better be a giver than a receiver because the giver already blessed.
Yep, you're right. You're exactly right.
You know what I'm saying? He's always provided.
Mm-hmm.
He's already provided. I like to think he was done working in the 7 days. Like everything else just happened within the 7 days. But it's like, our time ain't his time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you are a barber. How long now? How'd you get into being a barber? No, before we get into that story, what's the quote I love that you say about the cup?
Oh, take the lid off your cup.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Please.
That's real, man. Like taking your lid off your cup allows God to pour into you and allow your cup to run over.
Mm-hmm.
And then when your cup running over, you yourself cannot worry about what falls in the saucer. Because the moment you start doing that, you'll place a lid back on your cup because you don't want the saucer to get none.
Yeah.
And then God can't pour into you.
Yeah. God damn.
So it's just one of them things, man. You gotta take that lid off and just allow things to move, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like God give every man an equal his shared measure of faith. He give it to us all. Just some of us allow the things God tell us to die because of some naysayer.
Yeah.
We just let it go.
Yeah.
Or He tell us to do something, we keep putting it off.
Yep.
I've been writing a book for 3 years now. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We put it off.
Right.
We stall what He's already given us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I tell people, man, a caterpillar was born a butterfly.
Yeah.
Like everything God and gave you, He already put in you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are you going to use these things?
Yeah.
For you know what I'm saying? Or are you going to focus on everything that's wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And, what He gave you might have been the thing that was going to bring you right out of that.
Damn. He don't scream, He whispers. And if you're just too distracted or everything around you, you can't hear Him whisper to what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Well, that is probably Gym 5 and 6. So, barber. You are a barber. You have been my barber for 15 years. I mean,
it's been a while.
Long
time. Been so long, I don't even know how we met no more.
Cause I moved in with Brandon, and Brandon and Byron was friends, and my barber had closed. It was on Delmar, and that's when I had my dreads. So I needed a barber. So I lived with Brandon. I said, well, I didn't have a cardigan. So when Brandon would go on Thursday get a cut, I just go with him and get lined up, and here we are.
Yeah, man, being a barber has brought a lot of relationships in my life. everybody. Well, not all people that I actually hang out with outside of the shop.
Mm-hmm.
That group of people that our relationship has extended past the barbershop. So, I mean, we probably done some football games together. I know me and Brandon went to a game. We always, it's like, man, it brings forth good relationships, man, out of good people.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? I've always had the ability to pick good people out.
Yes. I think that's your vibe attracts your tribe.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. You get out. You get back what you put out.
Yeah, because you have no lid on your cup.
Oh, yeah.
And let it run over.
You got to let it run over.
So what made you get into being a barber, and how'd you meet Trey?
Well, the beginnings to my barbering was, man, I probably been cutting hair since I was 10.
Damn.
My aunt was dating a guy. He came over and he cut my hair in the kitchen. That was like my revelation that I can do this too. Like he not no barber. Who was this guy? I can do this too. Yeah. So I started off. I was my own. I was my first customer. I was cutting my own hair. Mm-hmm. Then I started cutting my boy hair. Mm-hmm. Led to my uncles. Led to people around the neighborhood. By the time I was in high school, I had a nice little hustle going. Yeah. Keeping some money in my pocket. I had a couple friends graduated a year before me. They went off to college. Kept calling back, complaining about being broke and this, that, and the other. And I'm sitting there like, I don't need to go do that. So I'm like, I'm going to go to barber school. And the funny thing about it, my mom had dated a barber. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting in the shop one day and I saw the guy get a haircut. And we talking about maybe 92.
Damn.
90, 93. She was dating a guy and he got $24 for a haircut. And I was like, yeah, I can do this. Mm-hmm. I'm already cutting anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it just was a natural progression for me. Yeah. It was something I was already comfortable doing, something I had been doing for years. By the time I'm 18, I'm cutting 8 years now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shit.
So, I did that. I went straight to barber school. I took the summer off like normal school. Mm-hmm. I took the summer off, and I went to barber college that September.
Yeah.
Back then, school used to start after Labor Day. I went to school back in September, and then knocked that out in about 8 months. Then I worked at Leroy's for like 4 or 5 years, and I left there. I worked at Cussing Class with another. Actually, me and her went to barber school together. Mm-hmm. And man, I did a little cutting at home.
Yeah.
I had like 8. Then when I got down to Universal, which is probably about 03, 2003, that's when I met Trey.
Yep.
And the funny thing, we didn't know it at the time. We had been working together for a few months or whatever, or maybe not even that long, but we had been working together for a minute. Mm-hmm. And his dad came in the shop, and he kept looking at me. And he was like, man, what's your daddy now? I'm like, you don't know my daddy, man. Mm-hmm. My daddy been dead for X amount of years. He like, your mama name your daddy name. Man, I'm talking about gave my whole family, ran it down to me. At least, my grandparents and I'm like, my uncles. I'm like, oh, this dude really know me. And he was like, man, I used to play with your daddy, man. And so they played in the same band together. They was actually cool during their younger days. And, found out me and Trey had probably played together at some rehearsals and some things like that. And here we were as adults, reconnected by fate.
By fate.
Yeah, that's all, you know what I'm saying? So, and we've been kicking it ever since, man.
Damn. Yeah. God damn. That's a when your lid is off your cup, you let God pour into you, and it brought you guys together through your fathers.
Yeah.
To continue this family relationship to the next generation through their sons.
Oh yeah.
And it was God's plan, because His plan is always better than our plan.
Well, yeah, the thing about it, we don't ever know His plan.
No, we don't.
We in the midst. And just trying to do the right thing and make the right decisions. But it's funny. The funny thing about making those decisions, they must be necessary to help us through, because whether good or bad, we got to go through it.
You're right. There is no choice but to go through it. Because if you ain't going through it, then you're probably dead.
You know where to go before.
Yeah. That's true. And you are a father as well. Correct.
Correct.
You have 2 daughters?
I have 3 now with my wife. So I have a stepdaughter also.
How old is she?
She's 11.
Okay. So how old are your other 2 daughters?
My other daughters are 18 and 23.
Wow. So how is that? So you've been through this first round of raising daughters into women.
Patience. Patience. Also recognizing that they're my seeds.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes and it's a funny thing, I think God hit us with some things that we are uncomfortable with in our children to teach us a little lesson. That we ain't too much better than the next person. So he give you somebody that you love so dearly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just
This test is put all your...
Yeah, it's a test. Yeah, man. But
all those wisdom self-tests.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade it in, man.
That's great.
It's been one of love my babies. All of them.
How would you... What advice would you give a man that's trying to raise daughters in the world we're in now?
Well, man, the first thing, the world we live in now, the world we live in then, and the world we gonna be, it's all the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a lot of patience, and you need to understand it's gonna come a day after all that bathing them, changing their pampers, raising them, loving on them, and doing all that. Especially if you're a father in their life, after all of that, it's gonna come a day where they gonna meet some little dude. That all of a sudden they don't hear nothing you telling them. All of a sudden what you telling them sound like a whole bunch of BS. You know, we got this little thing. My brother Marv always like to say, blood thicker than water, but cum thicker than both of them. and man, once they get involved, man, it's an uphill battle. Because you could tell them somebody not right for them, and they'll think you just don't want to see them happy.
Yes.
Or you don't want to see them with somebody, or you just don't like them. They got every excuse instead of he just really a bum, baby. I told you he a bum.
Yeah.
But, you know, they don't receive you well.
Yes.
Again, it's up to the receiver to decide whether you coming from a place of love or hate. If they decide that you hating, perception is reality.
Yeah. Yeah. God
reality,
damn.
Man.
That is, yeah.
It's a tough job, man. And I always tell people who raising kids, either you got extremely lucky if your kids ain't giving you no problems, or you ain't paying that close attention.
Ooh.
Like, it's one of the two.
Damn.
Is he like the luckiest parent in the world that your kid giving you no problems?
Yeah.
Or you ain't paying that close of attention.
Damn.
So, yeah,
that is parenting gems from Marlo. Either you got extremely lucky.
Well, because ain't no hand God on raising no kids.
No.
You can have 5 kids all raised in the same house with both parents in the house, and they all turn out different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen that.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Jackson 5.
Somewhere the middle kids always feel like they're a little messed up because they ain't old enough to do what the oldest doing, but they ain't young enough to act like no baby. They just be lost.
It's just
poor middle child. Poor middle child.
Poor middle child. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's tough. That's That's a tough one. So, I don't know if I touched on this, but like, what would be your advice on? I mean, we said patience. Like, we experiencing up and downs in a relationship. What is the best way to end it? Like, if you get to the point where you're not happy, she's not happy, and it's time to end it, is that chapter forever closed? That bridge is forever broken? Or, I mean, how do you amicably end something like that?
Well, I think you just, you walk away.
Yeah.
Accept it.
Yeah.
Accept it and you know what? The sooner you accept the loss, the sooner the losing stop.
Damn.
So, that's what people deal with, man. I see a lot of women in relationships because they can't eat the loss. They want to get back.
Yeah.
They want to revenge whatever they feeling. They want you to feel the way they feel, which only drags them further through the mud.
Yeah.
And guys do it too, man. She says she don't want you.
Yeah. You still showing up.
If she don't want you, the best thing you do is not want her.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Don't want her. She don't want you. Don't want her.
Sounds simple enough.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. Goddamn. That's a good one. So to recap, once you able to take the loss, the losing stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is Jim 87 from Marlo. Marlo, shout out the barbershop.
Oh, jack of all phase, where we do ball phase, medium phase, long phase, European shades, you name it. We do it all. Yeah, man, located 8003 St. Charles Rock Road, man.
Yes.
St. Louis, Missouri, 63114.
That's where we go. That's where you can find us every week. Sometimes we be there almost every week, but we see how the life goes. I just saw currently it's called a custom hair unit. Have you heard about this? It's a man weave, bro. Dog. My photographer Mo was showing me a barber that does it's called custom hair units, and so it showed me how it's a weave. So he get you that George Jefferson, then he lays these waves on top of them.
Man, men ain't got no business wearing no weave, man. I'm just gonna keep it real, man. Like, let the ladies have their purses. Let them have their weave. Let them have their makeup, their high heels, their panties, and their bras, man, and their dresses. I'm just being real, man. Like, you ain't got no business. What's the purpose of that, man? If all your hair fell out, cut it all off, man.
And get a mean hat game.
How about accept what you have? Mm-hmm. How about accept who you are? You know how many people dying out here because they can't accept themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine, like, people who saw the mirror for the first time? They didn't like what they saw. They probably was killing themselves, man.
Oh, my God.
Like, people are so unhappy with themselves, man.
And I was saying, all he did was buy confidence. You bought your confidence, but that's not... You should be enough. He made you enough. The God that you believe in, whatever title you choose to pray to, he made you enough. So there's value in losing that hair. Maybe I want you bald.
Hey, man, accept who you are, man. Hey, and if she can't accept you, find somebody that will.
True.
That's it.
I mean, I know. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's she's finding herself in guys. So we have a lot of conversations about church, and she went to my church. Well, she didn't go to my church, but we've been trying to figure out how to take her to my church. And I was sending her the Facebook feed to get to see the service, to understand what you get into, because this is not no Catholic church. This is some energy, and it's showtime. You gonna feel this word. You know what I'm saying? You gonna feel this environment, and it's like. She asked me, like, do you feel I did my path wrong? I say, only thing I ever alarmed me about you was that you needed to find validation in the men you were dealing with. And you can't win that way. You have to believe in your own value. You can't look for someone to say how much you worth, because they shouldn't be your appraiser. The only appraiser should be you. You set the value of who you are, and seeing when you chase men to give you that validation, they're gonna value you on what they need from you, not who you are. And now you 2 kids in, going through a divorce, 2 baby daddies in, and now you're trying to sort of find your next step. I'm like, you worrying about the next guy you meet and blah, blah, blah. Worry about the shit that's in front of you. You ain't even in a position to even get out there and date. And understand that...